All right, it is Sunday night, 7 p.m. You know what that means. That means it's time for BayLink Sports. BayLink Sports coming to you live from Safety Harbor. So, Safety Harbor Studios, by the bay, twixt the bay, wherever we know there's water around, because we love it. We're in Florida, and that's the place to be. Look behind us. We're outdoor studios because it's beautiful out here. It's a nice balmy, 92 degrees. But who cares, because we're outside. Don't forget, you can always join us here at BayLink Sports on Facebook, Castbox, YouTube, or now Twitch. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to get you right into this, folks. As you can see, the playoff picture is getting close. We are one puzzle piece away from taking out the Carolina Hurricanes after destroying the little kitty cats. Oh, well, to my friends in South Florida, sorry about that. To my friends in North Carolina, because I've lived in both places. Sorry about that, too. Getting ready to come up on that.
Not over yet.
Don is on. Don, give me just a minute. We're going to get you on in just a second here. Got a great guy who gave us a lot of information about the refs. Ooh, the refs. But before we do that, let me pull this one off here. I'm going to share with you the wonderful, fantastically happy game that we had yesterday before we start talking about other things. So sit back and enjoy the highlights of yesterday. Maybe. Here it comes. Yeah. Share it again. Why are you having trouble sharing? Who knows? It's a great file. Let's hit it. Hey, maybe we're not going to see it today.
Technical difficulty?
Yeah, it says your device is having trouble sharing your video. Well, screw that. Try sharing again. One more time. If we can't share it this time, well, I'll tell you all about it anyways. You're going to want to hear about it. It's a lot of fun. And circle. Technical difficulties, folks. A wonderful play thing, but that's all right. You know what? We got it made. We're going to tell you right now about all the cool things that are happening in the wonderful world of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because we always start with the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's always what we have to do because they are the home team. My Shattenkirk jersey today. Kevin, miss you a lot. All right, so we're going to jump right into it since we don't have the highlights from yesterday's game. Talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And yesterday was a mixture of the both.
Yes, it was.
Started off a little bit ugly for us. No goals in the first period. I'm okay with that. And then things went differently at that point. Do I even want to talk about this?
I don't know.
I don't know. What the heck? We'll talk about it. So let's go back to a few games ago. Sunday, May 30th, folks. I was out of town. Sorry you missed my wonderful voice on podcast land, but out of the area, so I couldn't really do the podcast at the time, and not as well as I wanted to, or professionally, because I either be professional or I don't. There's no halfway. If you're going to be professional, because you've been paid before and you've had a multi-million group listening group, then you're a professional. Love the glasses, by the way, Ryan. Love the glasses. All right, so Sunday last week, Braden Point in the power play, 8:15 in the second period because the first period was a bore. Third period, Jake Bean, on a power play, gets us to 1-1. But Barclay Goodrow at 12:39 with the assist by Blake Coleman ends the chances of those guys being happy at all. And we go on to win the first one of the season. Now it's 1-0, us against the Hurricanes, and now they're scared. Tuesday, June 1st, the next time we play again, first period, nothing happens. Everyone's bored. Second period, Alex Killorn comes in. Boom, Steven Stamkos, 7:09 left in the second period. We are now up 1-0. Third period comes Anthony Cirelli. Cirelli with an assist by Cernak and Hedman. End up at 8:06 left in the period. And that's now 2-0. At 18:13 of the game, almost the end, we gave them one. We're like, you know what? Here's one. It's 2-1. Y'all still suck. All right. First period of Thursday's game, which, we're going to wait a second because I'm going to bring on somebody to talk about this with us. Don O'Connell. Don has been dealing with the refs for a long time. Very close to all that information. He's got all that good stuff that we know about. So here we go. Don, let me kill this other music. Don O'Connell. Welcome.
How you doing, Jeff?
It's outstanding to see you. Let me get you a little bit bigger here because that is not. There you go.
There you
At
go.
least we're all even keel here. My son will be on a little bit, but right now, Don, we are at the Thursday game.
All
And
right.
I know that you are way into this because I watch your Facebook posts all the time. And, you and I, we've been Lightning fans for God knows forever.
Yes, sir.
Since they actually started playing. And they've had their ups and downs, but right now they're on some huge ups. It's just hard when they're on those ups, but the refs are just killing us. Thank you, AC. So,
wow.
Yeah, as we know, Thursday's game. Here's the bad part. Ron and Don will tell you both. So, I'm a junior season ticket holder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a half season ticket like some other people or whatever they think they are.
Exactly.
And I did not win the lottery for any playoff tickets this year.
Okay.
That was upsetting. However, a good friend of mine, thank you, Mark Goldfeder, again, could not thank you more for these tickets. So I go on Thursday. Big game on Thursday. Here we go. We're not kicking, and we lose. My goodness, folks. I get one game this year, and we lost. I want to trade for Saturday's game because that was a whole different story. So, Don, we got the first period here. No goals are scored. It's another boring first period. They're skating in circles, but they're getting penalties left and right here. Right off the bat, 17-11, Nikita Kucherov, 2 minutes for interference, which was not an interference. Nothing even close.
No, I was dismayed in the first period. Watching even before the first puck drop, they're tossing our guy out at the very beginning for unsportsmanlike when he's just standing there and the other guy is stick checking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the inconsistency there. If the player is stick checking me, that player should go off the ice, not both players.
That's right.
I didn't understand that call, and it seemed to just continue through the game. I don't know what you want to call it. I've heard it called a head check to Cooch. I thought it was just a definite slash to his head with a stick, and the linesman right there looking at it and decides not to make the call.
I mean, if the stick takes your helmet off, and then the guy with the stick goes to the penalty box on his own because he knows he's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
And they go,
very true.
We'll call it a day. Come on out the box. He was literally sitting in the box, waiting for the call to be finished up. And they actually had to call him out of the box and say, no, you don't play for the Lightning. You get a free pass.
Right.
And that's yesterday's game. We're still on Thursday's game. Now, I thought we had better chances when we came in on Thursday, hoping for just a better showing.
Mm-hmm.
It's our home team. We're back where we belong. Let's play some good hockey. And in the first period, again, it's lackluster. The second period, we end up with, right off the bat, Brett Pesce and then Sebastian Aho, both of them hate them both, bring it to 2-0 with only 7:40 into the period. It's already 2-0. Now, thank God for Braden Point and Alex Killorn finishing it up in that period to get us somewhere, at least tied us up to 2-2. Alex Killorn had a phenomenal power play goal, and so did Braden. Now, that's the key right here. If you look at these ones, it's power play goals.
Mm-hmm.
The power play is clicking. There's no doubt about it. The power play is on. I think it's I think in the rankings right now, it's either number 1 or number 2
or number 1
in a playoff league right now.
Yep.
It's really on point. Alex Killorn going to the middle, and now Braden is going to the middle. I'm pleased with their play. Cooch being the playmaker. The thing that bothers me is Stammer has been a little absent until yesterday.
Yes. I think it's his hip.
I don't know what's going on there, but it kind of worried me a little bit because, he's in his office and he's getting the puck and then he's passing it off or he's taking a shot that's like really wide of net. So I began to get a little worried there. I thought on that Thursday game, they came out flat. They didn't seem to be skating.
I agree.
They didn't seem to have their feet under them until the second period. But as we know by watching Carolina, they're coming out of the gate like a thoroughbred.
Oh
So
yeah,
you have
these
to
guys
keep
are no
up with
joke.
those guys.
You know, I refuse to call people haters or say anything like that or be a hater because I
Right.
think that's a bad term. But when when you've got a team that you have to respect, you've got to respect Carolina when you get
Oh,
on the
yeah.
ice with them, because
Absolutely.
if you don't pay attention and you don't respect them and give them the respect they deserve, you're done. So let's look at these penalties on the Thursday night game.
Right.
We had Kucherov 2 minutes for interference. Then Aho and Scevy or whatever his name is for 2 minutes each.
Right.
Hamilton got one, and then Nikita Kucherov got his 2 minutes for holding the stick in the OT, which is what killed us.
I'm an old-time hockey guy, and
Yeah.
to me, that was just a hockey play.
I agree.
He grabbed the stick and then let go. Big deal. But then they called the 2 minute in the overtime. It's like, come on. The game before that, let them play. Now this game, you're not letting them play. It's the inconsistency, which I think is driving everybody here in Lightning fans crazy.
Yeah.
If you're going to call it, you have to call it both ways.
Yeah. When you take someone like Cooper, who's even keel, who loses his mind at the press conference over that, and almost walks out. That's the kind of thing. And I think he took a small fine from NHL for his comments.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did he get one?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. They didn't really say much about it. They kind of glossed it over, but I'm sure that he got spanked.
I'm sure he did.
What he did, because hey, you're not supposed to talk bad about him, but you can't help it. If you're that bad, if you're treating this game like a joke, and you're blatantly missing calls on the Lightning and blatantly calling calls against them, it's crazy. That's what gets me.
Sutherland, he's been good in the past. I just don't know if it's a leadership issue on the ice where he's delegating more to linesmen and to the other ref, or he's not taking it in hand himself. I don't know what's going on there. It just seems very inconsistent. If you're going to call a plethora of penalties, then it has to go both ways. And when it drove me crazy when before the game at puck drop, you're tossing players and one of them isn't doing anything. He's just standing there holding his ground, which he's allowed to do by the law. And I just don't understand why suddenly you're going to toss them both for unsportsmanlike. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I could not understand why. I know they want to set a tone, but that's not how you set a tone for a game to have fresh ice and 4-on-4. Number one, it's dangerous. You're going to have players that are going to get overtired and are going to get hurt. And so nobody wins if the refs are just trying to make a point, which I think they're buttheads. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, right?
Yeah, it's kind of out of the fans' hands. Right. We just have to endure. And the players, I look at having played, not at that level, but having played, it's kind of out of the players' hands. But I think they get frustrated too. And I could see that in Cooch's demeanor on Thursday when he got tagged for that weak penalty.
Yeah,
and I'm sure he heard about it from Cooper later on. But I feel everybody's pain there. And I think it just literally comes down to consistency, and we're not seeing that. And I was just, before I came into the show tonight, I was watching the Montreal game, and again, there was consistency in those calls. They're not making them. Everybody's playing.
Yep.
I don't know why you need a bunch of calls for game control.
Well, they're all out there,
Respect my authority.
Yes.
I know you're not an Islanders fan, but what did you think of the overturned call against Matt Barzal with the spearing?
Boy, I watched that. I was really shocked that he didn't get a major. I thought even the announcers on the broadcast were saying that normally in that circumstance, the call goes in favor of the, excuse my connotation here, is the victim. Barzal went down. He got hit in the soft spot.
Yep.
A spearing. You have to protect the player.
That's right.
And even NBC Sports and those guys in the Anson Carter and those guys in the halftime, in the intermission, we're talking about how do you go to a minor when that's a major deal?
Oh yeah,
because when they first pulled it, they said it was going to be a major.
Oh, it should have been
review.
Yeah.
Of course, it should have been. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And then they go and do the review. Next thing you know, it's a 2-minute slashing.
Yeah,
that was
I don't
impossible.
Well, I think what they did is I think that the referee, and of course I'm just guessing at their mindset, I think they felt that Barzal probably embellished a little bit there. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've personally been in fights in my life, and when you get hit there, it's kind of hard to embellish that.
Exactly.
You know, you kind of go down like a ton of bricks.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a dirty hit, dirty play all the way around.
Then,
I thought it was a dirty play.
Yeah.
And then they fined him $5,000 for that slash.
Yeah. Well, player safety, they always get to look at that after.
So
after, what do you do on the ice?
I was surprised player safety didn't give him a game. Didn't give the opposing the Bruin player a game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruins are getting whatever they want right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not an Islanders fan, but I like how they play. I like their style.
Yeah, I'd rather play them than the Bruins.
Brother. They're killing it right now.
I'll tell you, and honestly, if they move up and they beat the Habs and they come to us, I'd much rather see us play them than the Bruins.
Really?
Honestly, rough.
Yeah, well, because you guys, kudos to the Islanders, and we'll talk about all your scores in a little bit here. Kudos to the Islanders because at least they play fair. The Panthers and the Bruins are well known for trying to hurt their other players. So if they beat us, at least they won't beat somebody else because we'll destroy them. We'll hurt them. That's dirt. That's just not hockey. Don, I played up through high school.
Sure.
You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
That's an unwritten rule in hockey that you don't do that because at the end of the day, we're all hockey players, no matter which team you're on. That's why, there's a great meme out today about NBA and how when LeBron, whatever his is, Le Quitter, I don't know what he is, when he lost, his entire team just walks off the court and just leaves. When you have a thing like this in these major games, at the end of this, no matter who wins or loses, you're going to see them congratulate each other, hug each other, shake hands, talk to each other. They're going to go, okay, the games are over, the fight's over, we're buddies again.
Right.
And that's what elevates hockey so much higher than any other sport.
True.
Just because of the sportsmanship we have. You agree?
I do. The after series handshake, the handshake line, and there, as you know, there have been instances in the past where players won't handshake another player.
True.
Because they're still emotional and they're still tied to the event. But yeah, it's what makes hockey unique. No other sport has it where we come together and we do combat, and then when it's over, no matter who wins, we're gonna shake hands. We're gonna be like men. We're gonna shake hands, be gentlemen, and we're gonna salute the fans. No other sport does things like that, and I think it's because hockey comes from the standpoint of family.
Yep.
And like you, Jeff, we're family. We're hockey players, and we remember that. We remember going to the rink at 4 a.m. and
putting the skates on and
having Dad lace them up and all that. We remember all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
John just brought up a good point about family just now.
What's that?
McAvoy, obviously he's from Long Island.
Yeah,
sure.
One of the best things he just did, I don't know if you've seen it, Don. He handed a stick to one of the Islanders fans. He was a kid.
See,
certain people. I mean, Brad Marchand and. I mean, come on, they're different breed.
They're a bad breed, exactly. And I agree with that.
But,
Pasta and all that.
McAvoy to do something, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I mean, that's
impressive.
cool.
I mean,
really
before COVID, unfortunately, hit the Brandon Ice Arena, the players would always go practice there. Now, I've been to practices for the Bucks and the Rays and all these other places. When the practice is over, they're in their car, they're out of there as fast as possible.
Right.
At the Brandon Ice Arena, they leave. But the fans are kind of on the sides waiting to see what will happen. Probably 8 out of 10 cars will stop they'll get out and they'll sign the autographs for people.
Yep.
You know, it's just a whole different world. Braden Point signed the front and the back of my jersey because he thought it was funny. You know, Kucherov got out of the car and signed for me because he liked my dog. You know, these are the kind of things that you don't see. And if people say, well, it's an American thing, I'm going to call bullshit, because you've got hockey players from all over the world here representing, and they're all getting along just fine. So if they can do it, why can't we? Oh, soapbox. Oh, geez.
We were talking about
Wow.
it a while ago. Well, Gillies in
Yeah.
the stands with fans, a former Islander hockey player.
Yeah.
He jumps up. I don't know if you've seen that, Don. It was tied 1-1 in Game 4.
Mhm.
Clark Gillies jumps up out of his seat. All the fans are going crazy. He smashes a beer can on his head.
I saw that. Yeah.
Tell me that isn't. I mean, it's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing. I mean, John Ledecky, owner of the Islanders, in the stands with the fans. I mean,
Right,
it is
right.
family. There's no doubt.
It is. And that's what makes it so much just more special
Mm-hmm.
than anything else, in the electricity and,
Yeah.
you know, the crowd. You can do that. And I'm thinking the crowd, they're yelling at the crowd for Thursday night for not being loud enough. I went deaf in that stupid stadium. It was exceedingly loud.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. That the only thing that really got me good though is the guy that blew off the smoke at every score. He got a little itchy trigger finger there. The smoke up, there was no score, and we could all go, somebody's gonna get fired today for that one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's hockey is because it's such a skill set. Not only do you have to be strong, you have to be agile, you have to also know how to skate.
Mhm.
Skating is a learned skill. It's not like walking or running. And then on top of that, you're moving at 30 miles an hour on two thin blades, and then you've got this stick in your hand that's not like a stick from a tree. It's got this curve on the end, and then you got to control this vulcanized rubber puck and shoot it at 100 miles an hour. So
while you're getting slammed into by a 240-pound,
Good point.
yeah,
exactly,
kind of like maroon coming at you.
Matt
Like, give up.
Here comes Matt Martin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
and
I see maroon or pasta coming at me. I'm leaving. I'm just gonna get off the ice.
Yeah, I'll take Johnson, but that guy's fast, so I don't know.
I'll tell you what, Tyler he's been kicking this so far.
I was pleased he scored. He finally scored. I was starting to get a little worried. The fact that he's been making plays, but they haven't been finishing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I was real pleased that he scored last night. I couldn't be happier. And again, it goes back to family. Tyler Johnson, his first coach was my son's first coach up in Spokane, Washington. And we have that connection with Tyler. And Tyler still has a home up in that area. So, he still goes to Eagles Ice Arena in Spokane, Washington and skates. And, again, it comes back to family. When you billet a player from another place and they come live with a hockey family and you have to get them to the rink and all that, you get to know that player and his family. And then it just expands from there.
Yep.
So it's the greatest game on the planet, I think. I don't think anything comes even close.
You tell me any other sport, and I'll tell you why hockey's better or harder.
Okay.
All the way around. So it's it's amazing. Hey, Kyle, I see you on there. I'll get you in just a few minutes. We're gonna go on with the rest of these scores here. So last night, Don, I hate to admit it, I'm gonna be the first one to admit I got so mad I turned the TV off last night. Went and sat on the back porch to read a book.
Oh, you missed a great second period.
Oh no, here's what I did. I got smart. At least I was recording it just in case.
Oh, nice.
And so I rewound, and during the intermission, I just got all the good highlights and had a blast.
Sure.
A lot of fun. But yeah, so I, so my ESPN app is going ding, 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 and everyone is a Lightning score. I'm like, well, I guess I better watch this game again. What a phenomenal game, folks. First period, 14-24. Braden Point gets a goal assisted by Andre Palat, and Eric Cernak puts it up 1-0. Then Turavian, it's 1-1. Jesper passed, it's 2-1. I'm like, oh Jesus. And then Steven Stamkos on a power play was assisted by Braden Point and Alex Killorn. Ties it up 2-2. And then that damn Dougie Hamilton has to come in and mess it up for me. This is where I think I went. No, that was waited till Slavin did it. Dougie Hamilton gets in, gets a point. Whatever, dude. It's 3-2. And Jacob Slavin, then he sends me off my couch into the other room because I've had it with the Bolts at this point. It is now 4-2, and I'm thinking, here we go. It's going to tie, and we're in trouble here. But then 14-38, Nikita Kucherov, assisted by Steven Stamkos and Victor Hedman, brings it up to 4-3. And then, Tyler Johnson, assisted by Ross Colton and Pat Maroon, ties the game right there, 4-4. We think, okay, we're starting to look good. Things are going to be better. And then Steven Stamkos on a power play, assisted by Nikita Kucherov, and Anthony Cirelli makes it 5-4. And we are now thinking, hey, this is pretty good here. Third period comes up. What are we going to do? 6:01 left in the game. Nikita Kucherov brings it up to 6-4. Life is good. Poof. I'm a happy camper. I slept good. I finally was able to sleep and enjoy my life and not be mad, because that's what happens. Now, let me talk about this game. Now, let's talk about the penalties here in this one. Instead of all the Tampa Bay penalties, now it's on them, and this is what got them. And there's a whole article right now in the Tampa Bay Times about this, how if you want to beat the Lightning, don't get a penalty because our power play is so good. Blake Coleman and Fogle started off with unsportsmanlike contact, which we've talked about this time down was stupid and a waste of time. And then 11:36, Jordan Stahl, 2 minutes for hooking. And 17:18, Andrei Svechnikov gets another hooking penalty. So Svechnikov, you're already in a bad round. Here you go. You just do it again. 1:59, second period. He does it again. 2 minutes for tripping. And then Savard, our new guy, decides to spend some quality time resting for 2 minutes and enjoying himself in the box. And David Savard does it again. Hey, Dave, welcome to the Lightning. Dude, you got to stop these penalties. You got an interference call and you got a tripping call. Don't trip. Don't interfere. Just chill. But between those two, Martinook, Bean, and Svechnikov, again, Mr. 3-time. Can you get a hat trick, Don, for penalties? I don't think there is a penalty hat trick.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be very good.
No. Because we're one of the questions I got my son coming on in a little bit here. He's going to ask a couple questions. One of them is, what happens if there's too many penalties? And there is an answer for that. I've got the rules up and everything. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Yeah.
Nice.
I actually had to study. My son's like, here's some questions. I went, uh-oh. These are hard questions. Right now we got Nikita Kucherov has 17 points. Braden Point has 7 goals. Nikita Kucherov has 12 assists. And Pat Maroon has the highest of 28 penalty minutes. Hey, Pat, you and Savard stay out of the damn box. 28 penalty minutes so far, just in the playoffs, Pat. I know you're a mountain. I know you're a big guy, but that's kind of what it is. What are you going to do? Yeah, all right, let's I see you, Kyle. I see you right there. We'll bring you on just a second, Mr. Question Man. All right, let's talk about your Islanders for a minute, because right now they're scaring me a little bit.
You think?
Yeah, they look good.
Hey, Kyle, I'm going to bring you on, but don't talk yet.
They're doing pretty good.
Look at that. That's right, they are.
They took games 1 and 2 from us up in TD.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. We're going back to the barn.
Yep.
Varlamov stood on his toes. We took game 3.
Yep.
And of course, riddled with referee issues, like normal.
Yes. Don, you can agree with that, I'm sure.
I can.
Actually, the whole series.
Oh, yeah, everybody. Far. NHL wide, I think.
And then, of course, game 4, back at the barn. Win, lose, or draw. We didn't want to go down 3-1. Well, guess what? We're back in it, tied up.
There you go.
Monday night, here we come.
2-2.
Tuesday night. Monday night.
Monday night.
Yeah,
Monday night, because we're playing Tuesday night.
And hopefully Volley will stand on his head again, because he's been phenomenal this postseason.
Yes, he really has.
Both of our goalies, actually, our rookie, Sorokin.
Well, see, that's what gets me, and this is, Don, I'm sure you can agree with this. I don't want to see McElhaney on the ice for the rest of the season, or ever again, to be honest with you. And I've made it very clear how I feel about Curtis McElhaney. Vasilevsky is the only goalie we got right now.
True.
We dumped Domingue last year. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have. He was a motivator, a team leader. I agree.
I agree.
And a hell of a goalie too.
Well, if you remember when we won the President's Trophy, Louis went to when Vasi was out about a 22 game stretch. Louis went like 18-2 in that time. And I mean, I think that was the difference maker for us getting the President's Trophy that year. Now it didn't help us in the playoffs because then we laid an egg. But I mean, I like Louis Domingue. I agree with you. I think he's a motivator. I think he brings a little bit of comic relief and a little bit of levity to the locker room that Curtis doesn't. And of course, Curtis is an old man like you and me. So
exactly.
He's probably sitting there saying, "Where's the beers?" And that's all he cares. So
like, please don't make me play anymore. But and I think that's the only bonehead trade they did. Now I think they came close losing Killorn and Tyler. That would have been 2 more bonehead plays. Fortunately, they kept their wits about him. They decided here's a better way to work the salary cap. And to everyone who's going to make comments, yes, you can call us cheaters, whatever you want. I call it good front office. These are people that know how to work the salary cap, how to work the salary. If it's coincidence that Kucherov and Stamkos came back on the first day of the playoffs, then it's coincidence. I don't think it's coincidence either. But I'm certainly not going to tell you that I don't think that was a really, really smart move by the front office. The cap lifts, those 2 pop back in. Life is good. And Kyle, we're going to talk about the number of players you can have and why you can have them in just a minute, which is great. Real quick about the Avalanche. Jesus.
They look good. They look really scary good.
But back in, and hold on here. Back in November, I said it was going to be the Knights. So Avalanche, sorry, you've got to stop because I want the Knights to win because that's who I think would be playing us for the Stanley Cup.
Grubauer was standing on his head too, man.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens because right now it's 2-1.
That's going to be the only issue with you guys if you do play against us because you could have one of our 2 good goalies.
I know,
and that's scary. I mean, just because I'm an island, but I mean, look at the stats of Sorokin. With the series against the Penguins. And now you got Volley following the same footsteps.
I have to agree.
I mean, we got a tandem. There's no doubt.
I totally agree. So, we just have to we got to keep Vasilevsky healthy. Don, if we don't, we're in trouble.
Absolutely.
And I hate to say that, and everyone else knows it. That's why they're crowding him so much, and that's why they're bumping into him, because they know if he's gone, we're in trouble. I don't trust McElhaney unless he pulls something
honestly,
out of his butt.
How much more can you really push Vasi? I mean, honestly, I mean, this is an honest question.
Okay,
now.
You know
how
what? Here's
much
my
can
answer.
You push him?
Here's my answer.
God forbid he gets injured by getting ran into.
There's an Instagram picture of Andrei Vasilevsky from last summer after the season. He's out walking around with his friends in a park. He's drinking Similac for fun. All right, some people have beer, some people have a soda. He's drinking Similac because he's that badass. It's like almost motor oil for his awesome body. The guy does not shut down. As long as he's not hurt, he's a monster. Life is good.
That's the thing you got to worry about, especially now in the playoffs, though. That anything can happen. You know,
it's going to be like last year. They're going to ride him all the way to the cup.
Yeah,
and that's what you do. You watch. So like, everybody's doing that. Even like Rask for Boston, they're going to ride him.
Unbelievable.
They're going to ride him all the way, and that's just what you do. And if you're bringing in the backup, you're kind of in a hurting situation at that point.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Backup is all Rex Goalie.
Yep, and Rich, I'll tell you, you're right. The Avalanche are declining. The Knights, they will tie the series. Let's hope. And like you said, the Knights are awake. I've watched both games so far. Knights are just ripping them up. Let's hope that keeps going. It'll be a lot of fun. So, Don, you want to hang out? We're going to do a little trivia time or question time. All right, we're breaking into questions. We're going to start off with a great guy. I know him right on the screen right here, Kyle Snyder. My son, Kyle Snyder, kind of cool to say. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, Kyle.
Hey. All right, so you got a question for me. What's your first question there, sir?
All right, so first question here. When is a penalty shootout decided?
When is it called on the ice?
Yes. When the
player is in a shooting position in the act of shooting, and the opposing player commits a penalty to prevent him from shooting, is usually when the referee makes that call.
That's correct.
All right. That's actually not what I meant. What I mean is, okay, so right now they're in the playoffs.
Correct.
And so,
okay, I know what you mean. I'll get this one.
Yeah, so you go to extra time after the 3 periods.
Right.
Are you talking like what we do in the regular season?
Exactly.
Yeah. Once you get regulation play, you go to a 4-on-4 for the next 5 minutes. And then if you don't get that, then it goes into a shootout. That doesn't happen in playoff time because they won't allow playoffs to be won by one player in case it's like a real mismatch with a goalie and a shooter. So they play more period and period and period, as we saw last year when Braden Point won it 5 overtimes, and the Bruins were crying because they couldn't play. Yes, so that's what determines that. Once they get to that point, then it's a sudden death. And actually, that actually doesn't mean just 3 shots per team. If they don't dominate 2 out of 2 of 1 or 3-0, whatever, they'll keep shooting out until there's an overage on one team. So those things go on too. Didn't they have like a 6-shot shootout with the Bolts somewhere in about 2 months ago, and we lost? What are you going to do? So, yes, good question. What's your second question?
Yeah, second question. Are teams penalized for having too many men on the ice? And if so, what is the penalty?
There you go, Don.
Okay, so yes. In fact, there's been a call in this series against the Lightning for too many men on the ice. It's usually because you have a player he's kind of shagging ass and not getting off the ice quick enough because they're going on the fly, and it's just a minor. It's a 2-minute.
Yep.
And then the coach gets to select which player is going to sit. So,
but that has to be a player that was on the ice.
It has to be a player that was on the ice. It is never the goalie.
Yeah, he can't just go, hey, rookie, go sit in the over there. You haven't been on the ice all day. Yeah, so that was because that was another one I looked up because I knew that it was he could choose, but I had forgotten that he had to choose someone who was on the ice at the time. Makes a little bit of a difference. All right, what do you got, my friend?
All right, perfect. All right, so third question. How many players are normally on a team's roster at any given time?
Well, behind the bench is 20.
Correct.
But then you'll have an emergency backup goalie that it doesn't dress. And we've seen this in the past where your starter goes down, the backup comes in, the backup goes down, you still have to have a goalie. And then that's when the emergency goalie comes in.
Unless you're a Zamboni driver.
It usually is the Zamboni driver.
Usually or
somebody from the ice crew. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, they like you said, 20 members are the maximum numbers they can have dressed for each game.
Right.
23 is the most they can have on the roster for that game.
But 3 won't dress.
That's right. 50 for players that they have under contract in the whole organization, which will mean the Bolts and the Crunch and that kind of stuff. And then 90 players is the maximum players they can have on its reserve list. So there's a lot of reserve hockey players out there that never see the light of day, but they're able to have a lot more than that. Now, this is a little different this year. 2021 season, each team is still allowed a maximum of 23 players, but they are allowed to have a taxi squad. It's kind of like a little minor league team.
Right.
That's basically what they allow them to do, and they can pull in and out of that taxi squad constantly, and they're training with them the whole time, which makes it different from pulling someone up in the Crunch.
Right. The taxi squad is still getting ice, and they're still doing morning skates. But the player that's assigned to that squad will not play in that game that evening. And then the coach can also dictate how many forwards, how many defensemen he wants to dress for the game. He can change that up.
Yep.
But it's always 20.
Exactly. It's always fun. What do you got? Let's get another one.
All right. So what is the typical length of an NHL player's career?
Now, this one I had to look up.
Wow.
According to...
That's really good.
This is a good one. I like this. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
18 years.
Not even close.
No, not that long.
No.
Come on.
Here are some words of wisdom from Mr. Know-It-All.
Thank you.
No, it's actually go ahead.
I'm gonna go 5.
Okay, good. That's a lot closer because the average length of an NHL player's career is 4.5 years.
Ooh.
The average NHL player plays an average of 4.5 years. However, when looking at the data in detail, the top 25% of players played an average of 12 years. So
really?
Overall, it's 4 to 5 years, unless you're one of the top 25% of all the players, which is 12 years. Now, if you suck, if you're in the bottom 75%, you play an average of 2 years. So I thought that was interesting. That was a great question because I was looking up going,
it is.
I never thought about that before. So
thank
you for that. All right, you got 2 more. What you got, my friend?
All right. Yeah. So you kind of went over this earlier, but not really in detail. Are players ever benched for excessive penalties?
Yes.
Yes.
And you give I'm going to read rule number 401.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's a coach's prerogative at that point. But I know that the NHL does have a rule where it kind of pushes that decision making along. But go ahead, read the rule. I don't know it by heart.
So rule 401, which actually has changed since I knew it, and it's changed a little bit, but now any player except in adult age classifications, which is a whole different thing, receives 5 penalties in the same game shall be assessed a game misconduct penalty, and a game misconduct penalty always ends up in a fine. If it's an adult player who receives 5 penalties in the same game, shall immediately be ejected for the remainder of the game with no further suspension. Any head coach whose team, except in adult age classifications, receives 15 or more penalties, and we've been coming damn close, during one game shall be suspended for the next scheduled game of that team. Wow. So, boys, you get 15 penalties. Coach Cooper is out the door at that point.
And that's an NHL rule.
That's rule 401. Yeah. Wow. Couldn't believe it. Yeah. See, again, when you sent me these questions, I was thinking,
that was a great question.
And then I see the questions like, shoot, I got to study.
No kidding.
Oh my God, it's been so long time.
Jeff going back old school.
Yeah. I mean, I love the beginning of it every year. This is one of my favorite times in the beginning of any season is when the rule changes come out. Because I love to see what stupid crap they've changed or whatever reason. And I look up why they did it. Because it's usually like a pasta rule. You can't punch somebody in the face or whatever, the rule is for that time.
Well, Bettman sucks anyway, so.
Exactly. But yeah, it was nice getting back into the rule book and digging around and saying, oh, shoot, that's kind of cool. So, hey, maybe I'll be a ref one day if I could actually stand up on skates anymore.
Now we're all in trouble.
All right, my son, you got one last question. What's the question for today?
All right. So at the end of game 4, Carolina had no goalie in the net. Why?
All right, Don, go ahead.
The coach pulls him to get the extra skater for the extra attack on our net. And league rules allow that. Hockey rules allow that. The coach can dictate who's on the ice, and it's always 6 players. And it can be a combination of you can have 5 forwards and a goalie, or 5 defensemen and a goalie, or whatever combination. The coach can go ahead and pull that goalie to get the 6th attacker to, like they were trying to tie it up and things like that. And that's normal. That's just normal procedure in coaching.
Yep.
So
now I went ahead and took one more step and looked at the actual odds, because my wife, she thinks that this never works. It's never going to happen. It's never, there's always going to be an empty net goal, which there haven't been a lot lately.
I don't know. It hasn't been.
No. But here's the thing. It is optimal to pull a goalie when there's 3 minutes left in the period. In that case, you will have a 1 in 4 chance of scoring. Because of the extra player, for some reason, you have a 25% chance that you didn't have before of scoring. So, hey, at that point, if you're already down, especially if you're down 2, why not take the risk? So, again, phenomenal question, because that's exactly what we think about. Is you see when I first started watching hockey, I'm like, why is the goalie? There's nobody in the goal. What's going to happen there?
Wait a minute, I'm trying to think. One of these recent games that
they do it all the time.
But they pulled them at almost 5 minutes.
That was actually a Bolts game a while back. They will.
No, this was just recent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They will
it was
too.
The Bruins.
Sometimes they'll do that.
Cassidy pulled 2 out.
Yep.
Like with 5 minutes left in the game to get the extra attacker. Because I think they were down by 2, so he had to score. Then they were going to have to score again, and it's harder when you have less time than if you have more time. Now he's taking a chance with an empty net, because I think right now, I don't know, but it just seems like right now that the defense are scoring more on empty nets in those situations than actually the team that has the 6 skaters.
Yeah, look at
scoring.
all that game, Don.
Yeah.
Zizekas and Pajot, empty netters.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, boom.
Hey, while we're doing questions, Don, here's a good one from Rich Mendoza. I have a serious question. Why in the world did the Knights coach play the backup goalie in game 1 against the Avalanche? That was mind-blowing, Stephen. I agree.
It's actually not I get what you're saying. From a fan perspective, I understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. You go with the racehorse that got you there, Fleury. But Fleury's older. So I think what they were looking at is they were wanting to give him some time off to rest. And they put Lanier in there, and of course he got lit up. So
that's surprising.
I was surprised at that too, because they've been splitting time all season long.
And Leonard's been phenomenal.
Yes, he's had a good season. So I thought, I think he was just playing the odds there, thinking, Robin can get me some, he can backstop my goal. I can get Fleury, who's really kind of got me here, give him some rest time because he is in his 30s, and then I can bring him back out on the ice for game 2 or even possibly game 3, depending on how game 1 went. And then game 1 was just a shellacking. And I think
we've been doing, Don. I mean, you played a goalie that's going to match the best with the opposing team. First series, you guys used Vasi.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still using, but our first series, the Penguins, we ran with Sorokin. Mm-hmm. We killed it. Now, Trotz is sticking with Volley. Mm-hmm. Volley's playing better against the Bruins than he would have with the Penguins.
And I think Trotz doesn't make that move. I think Barry Trotz is the kind of coach. He's an old school coach. Mm-hmm. He doesn't make that move. He's like, dude, we're paying you millions of dollars. You're getting in the crease.
Exactly, and that's and a lot of times, Rich, they'll do that to give these other goalies a chance to have some playoff looks, and they might just be ready, and then they can gauge how many times can they pull Fleury and trust their backups. Like we can't pull Vasi because we can't trust McElhaney. Again.
It's going to take an injury to Vasi to get McElhaney in there. But Fleury, and because Lanier actually had a good year, I get why the coach did that. Would I have done that personally if I was the coach? I'm kind of the old school thinking. I'm going to go with the guy that got me here.
Yep.
So.
And we do have information that Winnipeg is being destroyed by Montreal.
Are they really?
Wow. Yeah, looks like it. So.
Montreal's hot.
Montreal is hot, and I'm not so worried about him. But
Carey Price,
you never know.
He didn't do nothing all season long, but the playoffs, it's like a brick wall all of a sudden.
Exactly.
So let me ask you guys 2 questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shoot.
First of all, Sheffley's penalty, and he got his suspension.
Mm-hmm.
Good call, bad call.
Who?
Jeff, what do you think?
I'm on the fence on this. I think from a safety perspective, I think it was a good call. Okay. I think from a hockey perspective, it was a bad call. And I think you can agree with that. It's just, damn it, this is playoff hockey. Mm-hmm. This is rough and tumble, hard hit to the benches, over the boards. It's.
I don't know. I think that was a dirty hit.
It's tough hockey.
I think it was.
I don't know.
He could have slowed down a little bit. I mean, he really could have. Thank God it was only a concussion.
Right.
But you know what? Another foot closer to that wall, it would have been a different story.
Well,
yeah.
He lifted his skate, it would have killed him. But that's a whole different. And then again, what could he have done? What could he have done?
I think it was a statement. I think it was a statement play. I think that was a don't mess with us. This is a statement. I'm going to take you out. As you and I know, Jeff, that's old school hockey. Mm-hmm. I know now they're really trying to protect the players from things like that. But you got to let them hit too.
Yeah.
And
Pee Wee League and didn't work.
I was on the fence with it. So, yeah. And then my last question is,
sure.
Do you feel that the Canadiens can hang with the Avs if the Avs take the series against?
Nope. I'm gonna give
because
that a big, huge nope.
So what? Because I think we're going back to the Cup. I think.
Oh, I think so too.
You know, as long as Brad Marchand's not licking people's faces again, I think we'll get there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think
that we don't have. I mean, if I was looking at tough teams for us to worry about, Avs, Vegas, Islanders, Bruins, and that's about it. I just don't see any Canadian teams that can. Oh, I can't see a Canadian team that's going to hold up against anybody.
I don't know.
Well, Winnipeg was flat. They look tired.
Yeah,
they're just tired.
You know, it's a rough one all the way around. Well, hang on if you'd like to. We're going to dip into real quick to the Solar Blades. Solar Blades had their final 5 games this week. Final 5 games. They beat the Everblades on May 30th. They lost. Oh, I'm sorry. They beat the Jacksonville Icemen on the 1st. They got spanked by the Stingrays. 6-2 on Thursday the 7th, June 3rd, which is the same time we lost to. So it was just all the way around kind of sucky. They lost to the Icemen again Friday, June 4th. It just doesn't get any better for this. And then to add insult to injury, the Everblades come back last night, 7 p.m., and beat them 4-3. Sorry, Solar Bears. You went out on kind of a low, but so did the Crunch, and so did other people. Crunch are done. They'll be gearing up for next season. Don't have any scores for them here. But, Don, I'm so glad you're with us tonight because I want to talk about another team that I think is near and dear to your heart, the Tampa Bay Rays. My goodness, boys, what have you done? What are you smoking, drinking? I want some of it because my goodness.
They're killing it.
They're killing it. Tampa Bay Rays right now after their win again today. They were down 1-0 all the way through the 7th, and they won 7-1.
All right, now I got a question for you, Jeff.
Yes.
I got a question.
Yes.
Don, listen to this question carefully now.
Yes.
How many games are they ahead of the Evil Empire?
They are currently 6 games ahead of the New York Yankees. It goes like this. The Rays are first. 1 game back is the Red Sox. 5 game backs is the Blue Jays. But 5.5, now 6, because of that win today, are the Skankies. Of course,
Evil Empire.
At least they're not the Orioles.
Evil Empire.
16 games back.
Oof.
20 wins, 38 losses. They're like the Sabres were this year.
That ain't
right. Oh, man.
They won the draft lottery anyway.
I can't believe you just went there.
Hey, you know, right? I can go there because I was a Pee Wee Sabre. I can beat myself up because I love that team, and I really do. I support them. They are my hometown team. But they come a distant second to the Lightning because this is where I live. This is where the money's made. This is where the economy is big. Because, and Don, a lot of people, this came up as a big controversy on Facebook a little while ago. You got people that said, oh, I support my birth team as much as I support my home team. Okay. But your birth team, if you're not
around when you were born.
Well, if you're not living there, you're not reaping the rewards, and your friends are reaping the rewards of the economy and everything that goes with these wins, and you're not supporting your own economy, then how can you even do that with a clean conscience? That's the problem with a lot of these guys.
That's just weird to me.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's just weird to me. I'm sorry.
Hey,
and then why would you put opposed Go Avs?
I know that's the worst one.
I mean,
yet.
Is that insane, Jeff? Or what? Why would you put something like that?
It's horrible. And
Who put that?
Oh, we got a guy that just thinks he knows everything, and he's that guy with where's that Mr. Know-It-All? About the same thing. That's exactly what he does right there.
Let's meet him on the ice.
Yeah, he's this.
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, over.
Oh wait, I don't want to say that.
No
that's too much. Chevy, we don't say that about people. That's too much.
Since we're on the Rays,
yes,
and since I have people that are Mets fans,
yes,
like you would not believe.
Yes,
Don, you have no idea. From day one, Mets fans. Now, obviously, you see DeGrom is killing it right now. He's like one of the, if not the best pitcher in baseball right now. He's absolutely destroying everybody.
Okay.
So DeGrom is getting put into the thing that he's on steroids, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Cole is the one that's having a problem right now. So I did a little fact checking on my own to talk about the Skankies for a minute.
Okay.
I'm not a baseball fan. Never was, never will be.
But go ahead.
But check the facts out. Mr. George Steinbrenner, back in 1990, paid Mr. Howie Spira $40,000 to ruin Dave Winfield's reputation.
That's correct.
Then, from that, he was banned from baseball, from around his team.
Can you believe that?
Right? Now, just so you know why they're called the Evil Empire, 2 years later, allowed to join his team.
Oh, my God.
See what money does?
That's amazing.
It's called buying championships.
Buying championships. At least if we're going to buy ours, which we've been accused of doing so far this year, at least we're honest about it.
Well, there's that.
You know, we're not paying backdoor deals. We're just following the rules of the NHL.
All right, now let me ask you both this question.
Yes.
Now, I wonder if you would remember this, Don. You should remember this.
Yeah.
Do you remember Hideki Matsui?
Yes.
I do.
Pitcher?
Of course.
What was the name George Steinbrenner called him publicly?
Yeah, it was not pretty. I can't remember
Do you
the
remember,
name.
Don?
I don't recall, but I know it wasn't.
It wasn't nice.
Fat
It
Toad?
wasn't. It was.
Yes, Fat Toad. That's
Oh,
right.
did he?
That would, yes, he
Yes.
most certainly
Yeah, he
did.
sure did. I remember that.
So you're going to tell me a
just
team
sad.
that has all these championships and World Series
Yeah,
is a respectable team having an
That's-
owner like that?
that's what
To
happened.
pay people off to call your team members
That's right.
names, and you're supposed to be respectful, and then you're going to
Exactly.
bash the Rays.
I know. All right, so we are at a point where I'm going to say the Rays are kicking butt. The Yankees are not. Everyone else is doing pretty well in the league because they're not the
They are.
Yankees. So here we go. Don, I'm going to give you a minute to say your goodbyes and tell me what you want to say. Here we go.
Well, I think that the Bolts are going to get back to the Cup. I think we can win it. I think it comes down to skating. If our boys skate better than anybody. Just watch them when they're on point and they're skating hard. Nobody can keep up.
Exactly.
That's all I got to say.
And go Bolts. Kyle, what you got to say?
All right, so I noticed it last year, noticing it again this year. Looks like Tampa all around is on fire between the Bolts, the Rays. Hopefully, come later this year, it's going to be the Bucks too. So let's go Tampa all the way around. So
That's right.
They
As
had
they
a
call
chance
it,
last year.
Tampa Bay.
Hopefully the Rays can keep it up and not disappoint like they did last year. And yeah,
Exactly.
go Tampa.
All
Go
right,
Tampa.
guys. Hey, I'm going to drop you off this thing. Thank you so much for both being on. My son, Kyle Snyder, and Don O'Connell, the guy for hockey. You'll be coming out again, Don. Don't worry about that.
No doubt.
We'll see you very soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Have a good one.
All right, Ron, what you got? Your last minute here. Go ahead.
Last eight. You know what? I'm just tired of negativity.
Yeah, aren't we all?
You know, you bash other teams, but you know, you do the same thing. It's called a hypocrite.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
all I can say. And the facts are facts. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It is that.
You know. But
Hey, but you know what? There's
the
another
only thing I
day.
can say is go Islanders. May the best team win.
There, may the best team win, and that's what I say every time. And these are my final minutes, folks. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. This hour just flew by.
Yes, it did.
It's amazing how when you got some really good talent on, you got some great people with some great ideas, great things to say, the hour just seems to slip away. I will say this. I am Jeff. This is my buddy Radical Ron, and we are coming to you live from Safety Harbor. We'll be back again next Sunday night at 7 p.m. and go Bolts.